Good morning, one and all. I hope you're good and I hope you're well. Welcome to Cockerel Doodle Do, your morning Tottenham show. Today, joined by two people. The Cough will be joining us when he gets to the coffee house. But let's say hello to our two guests first. James, brother, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I've just come out of a meat coma and I'm going to tell them more in a minute. Cooper, how are you, sir?
I'm very well. I was having to bite my tongue because I was thinking of keeping a little comedy thread going with blurting out the name of somebody at the start of the show, but I refrained from it because some people will find it funny and others won't. Anyway, good otherwise. Good.
So, listen, guys, I don't know if I said last night my beautiful wife arranged a surprise date night for me, and didn't know where we're going, what we're doing, but because of certain reasons, we've had to completely change our diet, and I've had to cut out lots of the meat that I love: lamb, red meat, you name it. One of my very, very good friends and dear friends, a woman named Suzanne, starts work for this company, a brand new company in America and Canada. These are the websites called Wild Fork. Basically, what it is premium meats, seafood, and other things, butchered by top butchers, flash frozen, and then sent out across America and Canada. Yesterday, I was at their facility for an exclusive members-only wine and dine thing. Had some top Canadian chefs butchering every single meat you can think of. And I got to eat it all cooked from scratch. We're talking Wagyu. We're talking porterhouse steaks, lamb, you name it. I've been in a meat coma. I'm surprised I woke up. Anyone in America or Canada, please check out these websites. They are outstanding, and let me know what you think. Right, that's enough. All I will say, you heard a child in the chocolate factory. Yesterday, it was Daigle in the meat factory. And I was like Augustus Gloop. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy. But now, let's get back to the show. And there will be some Levy talk. So if you do not want to hear Levy out talk or Levy, I know what you're up to, turn away now because I'm not messing around anymore. So if there's something to talk about, I will talk about it. But good morning to Hemorrhoid. I hope you're okay. Yeah, people will see. Kuva saw yesterday. I might as well put it up. I put it on my socials. I've joined E17, haven't I, Kuva?
You have.
I have joined E17. Where's my photo? It's got very, very cold in Toronto. Very, very cold. So I busted my winter jacket for the first time. And I don't know if you can see it. There's me in my white jacket walking in the street. I'm actually going to record a video of me singing Stay Now. So... Hemorrhoid, I wish I was in the heat. The cold it is.
I'm getting a poster made up of that already.
Oh, please do. Please do. Send it out. Why not? Agda on Wembley, big up, my brother. I hope you're good. Andrew, good morning. Benjamin, good morning. Sweden is in the house. Big up, Mr. Rodriguez. Colin, I forgot to message you yesterday about the question. I will today, I promise you. Audio, big up, sir. Joseph is in the building. Steve D, the wonderful Fran. I hope you're okay. The sheriff is here. And yes, we're up to date. Right. I don't know which way we're going to start this. I'm going to do it in the order that I saw these texts and reacted to them. So, Lloyd Kelly wanted all summer, couldn't arrange a deal. Been rumoured all building up. He's the one. He's the one. January is just around the corner. And then Tottenham Tears tweeted this. Tottenham are likely to sign another defender in January, but Lloyd Kelly's injury problems are expected to put them off. Once I saw that, and it was tweeted to me by Ryan, as in my little brother Ryan Isaacs, I said, okay, enough. And I said, so wait a minute. We wanted him in the summer, fully aware of his injury problems, couldn't get the deal done. Want him the whole time. Now the window is round the corner, and apparently we have no money. His injuries are a concern. And I said, that's not injuries. This is LevyNomics. He's got a £25 million price tag with 6 months left on his contract. We don't want to pay it. This is a typical at least we tried.com. And Cooper, before I bring you in, I then got a reaction from the fan base. And listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone, I respect them all. But then I got, yeah, but why do we want to sign an injured player? And I was like, well, he was injured. He didn't go back in time and create his injuries in the months between the summer window and January. Oh, yes, but why do we want to bring another one in? We don't need it. We need to look at our injuries now. And I was like, well, we signed James Maddison. He's got an injury problem. Romero, Van der Ven. The list can go on. Solomon's picked up.
Gareth Bale, brought him back, no problem.
Yep. So players have had injury problems, no problem. But because we don't want Lloyd Kelly because of his injuries, all of a sudden, we don't want to sign an injured player. I mean, the reason I spoke to you and the reason I wanted you on is because obviously you can speak a bit about Lloyd Kelly, can't you?
Yeah. As I've said before, I live close to Bournemouth, so I've got quite a few Bournemouth fans, lifelong Bournemouth fans. I've seen them quite a few times. I've had the pleasure of going to watch them a few times live. So I kind of follow them. I'm got quite a fondness for the club. Lloyd Kelly is a much better player than most people are giving him credit for. There is a reason the likes of, it's not just us that are looking at him. It was Liverpool, Newcastle, AC Milan. These aren't like, sort of first division clubs that are looking for a bargain. We're talking top quality here. Now, the thing is with Lloyd Kelly, he has had injury problems in the past, but I think it's been about a year since his last one. It was a pretty hefty one. It was an ankle injury, but I mean, these things happen. Look at what's just happened to Bentancur again. Would you say he's an injury-prone player now, or is it just circumstance? When it's things like that, you have to just say it's part and parcel. It tends to be the ones when they're muscular injuries and the repetition of the same thing over and over. That's when you start asking questions. Now, as a player, Lloyd Kelly, he's got pace, he's left-footed, he's versatile enough to play either left back or left centre back, which really is a position we need strength in. And as we've seen, we've got very little cover there at the moment. He's got the pace. He reads the game. He's good at assessing where a player's going to go. He reads their sort of body language, which way they're going to turn. He doesn't throw himself into tackles. He times it very, very well. So most of his statistics come in the form of blocking or intercepting. Tackles is his last-ditch thing, much as Maldini used to. Again, no direct comparison, just the style. So when he does have to go for a sliding tackle, he tends to time it extremely well. That's the defensive side of him. He's very competent. Now, the bit we really want him for, on top of that, is when he's on the ball. This is what many Bournemouth fans describe him as a Rolls Royce player. He is that shade above the other players on the pitch. He can pick out a long pass. He can pick out a killer through ball. He's got a touch of the Toby Alderweireld about him. When Toby used to do those long raking balls over to the left wing, Lloyd Kelly does it the other way over to the right wing. And he's consistently been doing that. Except for, you could argue this season, perhaps he's seen a little bit less of that, perhaps this time. But he is very adept at, that instant little pass, just a chipped, easy, almost lazy-looking pass into the path of a forward who's just broken the opposition's offside trap.
Yep.
Excellent player. Very comfortable on the ball. He doesn't shirk under pressure. He can come forward with the ball himself very well. Incredibly underrated player. And it's the usual sort of ploy of, if he doesn't play for one of the top teams, he must be rubbish. Absolute nonsense. This is a quality player. I do get the sort of hesitancy when it comes to injuries, but you do that with all players. At some point, you've got to just say, is he good enough or isn't he good enough? And Brian, you're bang on. We were in for him in the summer, and it was okay then, but all of a sudden, he hasn't had any injuries since then, as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
So what suddenly changed? But now he is injury prone, and we have it's madness. And the fact we're talking about bring Tanganga back instead. Oh yeah, because he never gets injured, does he?
Yeah, I mean,
has he even played a game while he's out on loan? I don't think he has he?
We are going to get into him in a moment, because this is the tweet we're about to discuss. Once we finish with Kelly, was actually posted 2 hours. I did it the wrong way. Ryan sent me that tweet, but Last Word on Spurs had tweeted 2 hours earlier. So literally, the two will make sense in a minute. But what happens with Lloyd Kelly as well is, as people have said, well, why do we want to sign a first teamer? They're only be backup. Backups might want to. We just need someone backup. So surely, if he's playing backup, he's not going to be playing that much, which again minimises. I mean, obviously training, whatever. But I don't understand how you have it that we wanted him in the summer. If Ange wants him, I want him. All that stuff that was coming out. People like yourself have seen him and know better. I remember you speaking about some of your where you live. You're close to Bournemouth, and those fans have said the whole reason that this is happening is because he won't sign a contract, not because he's a crap player and we want him out. Yeah. And as you said, some other teams, big teams, have come in and wanted him up. Let's just look at it. Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool, prone to injuries. Did it stop Liverpool? Did it stop? The excuses, when you see it, and people are actually showing me his injury record and going, this is why we're not signing him. This is what the club do. They want to change it. It's like, we sign injured players and have done, not just now, in recent time. Darren Anderton got injuries at Portsmouth. But all of a sudden, we've wanted him the whole time. And everyone's saying, if Ange wants him, I want him. But now, the price is 6 months left of his contract. Probably asking too much. James, no worry, brother. No worries at all. But yeah, so, like I said, since 1998, Kelly has missed 50 games due to injury. So he's missed a fair few, but that's over 3 years. So what? That's basically Romero with his suspensions and injuries.
Yeah, I think two of them were big injuries, so that takes up an awful lot of that time. They're unfortunate sometimes. Trying to remember what the first injury was. It might have been. I've got a feeling it was like a muscle tear or something like that. But yeah, it was. He did little sort of periods where he'd miss a few weeks at a time, but there were those really two lengthy injuries that really it sort of exaggerate the overall figures. So I'm not too concerned what I've seen. Like I said, I don't think he's had an injury for over a year now.
Yep,
or about a year anyway.
Exactly. We're in a sport.
He's fit and ready to go. Yeah. What he's also doing is playing very well this season. Like I said on the previous show, I watched him Watched him playing out a 0-0 draw with Chelsea earlier in the season. Not the greatest of games, but he was so much better than anything Chelsea could throw at him. He really was. Outstanding performance on the pitch that day. I just thought this is the real deal. This is a proper player we're talking about here. The only things I've really put against him is he didn't do very well when he was given captaincy. Some players just don't.
Exactly.
So they removed captaincy from him to help him develop, and he's back to his best, if not better now.
Well, you got to remember as well, Coover, when it comes to contract negotiations as well, they did that with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg at Southampton. If you're not going to sign a contract, you're not leading the team. So obviously it's a big thing to take on the captaincy, and people do what's best for the club. But you alluded to it. I'm now going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up, but it's because I've screenshotted it. It's quite thin, but I'm going to read it in full. Someone, before I read it in full, I'm going to bring it up, said it. Where was it? Someone mentioned it. It was my man Audio. If we're going to bring any defender back, surely it's got to be Rodon. His form it's been very good for Leeds, but obviously if we do that, it's free. It's not a problem, and saving money. But obviously he's not going to do that. I don't know if Leeds have got a clause in we can call him back or whatever. But 2 hours before the Lloyd Kelly tweet broke, Last Word on Spurs, really good channel. Everyone check them out if you haven't. You probably do know them. Tweeted this, and this is from a couple of sources, but I'm going to read it properly so you can all understand it and not have to strain your eyes. Just in, Tottenham Hotspur may consider recalling Japhet Tanganga from Augsburg in the upcoming January transfer window. The 24-year-old joined Bundesliga club on loan this summer, but is yet to make an appearance. The Englishman took longer than planned to recover from an injury, and although reportedly trained well, hasn't been an option for the first team so far as we head into December. Then I talk about the manager they've got lost, and then it goes, Tanganga was injured for the first 7 games, made the bench against Cologne on November the 4th, but hasn't made the match day since. Likely unhappy with his playing time, Tottenham Hotspur would probably consider terminating the player's loan in January. So obviously, the way you lose interest in bringing in a player that's injury prone with 6 months left on his contract is bring back one that has even worse injury problems and is a member of the club, save money, at least we tried FC, and the fans believe this crap.
Also add to that, if you talk about Rodon and Tanganga, do either of them fit this high line we want to play? Because I don't think so. Tanganga perhaps has got a bit of pace about him, a bit of athleticism about him, but most of the time he's on the treatment table. And Rodon, I don't see any of those qualities that he's going to bring. He sort of fits more what, if anything, you'd say he fits more what Conte wanted to do. Sort of defend deep and break on the counter attack. But I think Wales generally get forced into playing that way as well, don't they, for Rodon? It suits him. Playing a low block and being a solid defender, he's okay at that. That's not what we're doing, though. We need progressive ball-carrying defenders who can do what we really need. We need to replicate Romero, Van der Ven, Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen when they were paired at their best as well. Rodon and Tanganga are not that. Never will be. Lloyd Kelly can do that. He really can.
Well, going back to him quickly, Collins raised 2 things as well. It's would Bournemouth let him go if they're in a dogfight? Well, it's been. I think that bullet's been taken out of their chamber because he's got 6 months on his contract.
Yeah, it's
like you're going to lose him for free, or do you try and get Premier League money on a Premier League transfer? Whilst you still can, I think they'll stay up anyway because of how poor the other 3 are. But even if you look at it, Lloyd Kelly, better upgrade than Dyer, who's going in the summer or January, please God. Better in the centre than Royale probably. Right, I know Nick's here, but Nick, right, I want him to remain on the right. He shouldn't have to sacrifice his best position to complement us in a weaker position. And then he confirms Roden hasn't got a clause back in his contract. So Kelly's got to be an upgrade on the defenders, obviously, apart from Romero and Van der Ven, apart from them. But why is it that this fan base don't see it? I can't understand. Right there, within 2 hours, listen, it could all be paper bollocks. It could be nonsense. Tanganga could stay at the club in Germany. Kelly could come in. But as I always say, there is no smoke without fire. And right now, there is a huge fire. Wouldn't you say, Kuva?
Oh, well, we've got track record of it, haven't we? How many times we're having these same conversations? Why does ENIC out exist? It's for this kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think another thing for this particular equation is talking about our Bournemouth letting him go in the middle of a dogfight. It's a fair point.
Yeah.
Bournemouth are a well-run, very smart club. They will already have alternatives lined up. Whether they can get them or not is another question. But they will have identified players from lower leagues or abroad that can come in and do that same job for them. So that will be that. At least they know what they're going to be looking for. The question then becomes, can they get him? Because if they can't, they might be looking at, do they need to keep Lloyd Kelly to the end of the season to maintain their Premiership status, or can they afford to let him go? The way he plays for them at the moment, they can't afford to let him go without replacing him. So it could be awkward, but that's down to them saying no. It's not down to us suddenly going, oh no, injury prone, don't fancy it, won't put a bid in.
Well,
That's not work, is it?
Richard Evans has just hit it right on the head. What message does it send to Alfie Dorrington, Ashley Phillips, that it's like, okay, we're going to clear the roadblocks for you. We're going to have you on the bench and around the first team. But then rather than bringing in quality or not believing in you, we're going to bring back a player who hasn't played a minute of football, possibly in Tanganga, and he'll be ahead of you. We sent him out on loan so he could clear the path for you. Richard, I can't tell you how spot on the money this is. Why, again, I come back to this, and I'll go back to the rant I had a couple of days ago. People and that prick Jamie Weir, that Sky News reporter, did that picture saying, Levy out people ready to pounce. Well, I'm sorry, in everything, when you go to a restaurant and the food is magnificent, do you complain? No. When you get a shit meal or hair or whatever, you complain because there's a reason to complain. So when people are going, oh, here we go, Levy out ready to pipe up, we never went away. We have always been there. I have never changed my stance. Neither has anyone who is Levy out has changed their stance. But then you see this crap coming around at the same time of year, and people fall for it, Cougar. I think we live in a world where it's April Fool's every day. Levy Fool's Day is what I'm going to nickname it.
It seems like it.
That's my new hashtag.
Gets away with the same trick over and over.
That's my new hashtag, Levy Fool's Day. Get ready to see that all over Twitter, because I mean, this is another one. This is the player that I want above Kelly. I love this guy. But if from what you say on Kelly, again, I'll take it. And you know what? You see him, and the attributes you said he brings is something that we need. It's definitely something that we need and could benefit the team. As Katosin, his distribution is incredible. His strength, his power, his pace, all make sense, but it costs money. It all costs money, and I just don't understand what is going on. I mean, come January, Kuva, I actually thought, and as I've said before, I thought, and I'm going to stick to my guns. I don't care how much money we spend. I don't care where they come from. I don't care who they play for. I don't care what league they're playing in. Get them in quick. For once, get them in bloody quick. Let's get to January the 14th latest and say we've shut up shop. Tottenham has come out and say that's it, business done. and we can just relax rather than waiting on deadline day for a deal that's taken a month or to see if we do any opportunities arise. Is this starting to dampen your thoughts even more?
There's still conversations going on about whether to bring Lloyd Kelly in or not. I see some people bringing up reasonable points of discussion, saying that perhaps signing him would be the slap in the face of the youngsters.
Yeah, could be.
The way I'm looking at it is bring Lloyd Kelly in, say to Dyer and Davis, thank you for the service, off you go, and then you've got your core centre backs of Romero, Van der Ven, Lloyd Kelly, and then you've got Dorrington and Phillips, and you're covering both your centre back slots. You're also covering your left back when you need it out of those core five. All of them going to get game time in this system. We've seen how players need to be rotated through games, keep them fresh, keep the fresh legs on the pitch because Ange Ball is taxing for them. I think that would be a perfectly good five for me. Makes total sense to me. Like you said though, Brian, the question comes down to it's LevyNomics again, isn't it?
It is.
What do we get? I'm going to hold back with my absolute barrage of usual stuff going his way until we've actually seen January and just confirm it. But it's looking that way already, isn't it? When we say we'll sign another defender or turning to another defender, we're not. That Lloyd Kelly was the one we're being strongly linked with, and we know we put a bid in. So if we're going for somebody else, we weren't that interested at the time, were we?
Exactly. Not just that. Remember, after we couldn't get Lloyd Kelly, we went and made a bid for Shabala at Chelsea, who is another one who has a huge injury problem, a huge injury issue. Can't get into the Chelsea side, and look how shit that Chelsea side is. But we went round like we always do, and I said this when we signed Dan Zuma. My exact terms when we signed Dan Zuma was that deal was done because they thought Porro was going to fall through and they needed a fallback just in case they could get it over the line. Everton had him in the door. We were like a hyena going around the jungle looking for scraps, and we picked up Dan Zuma. That's what I linked Shabala to last minute. Oh, we couldn't get Lloyd Kelly because we really, really want him. Don't worry about his injury problems. Let's go for another injury centre-back. And he's in London, so we can just get him over. I don't think he's played for Chelsea. I think he's injured right now. But there's no talk about that, is there?
No, of course not. Of course not.
And I look forward to when the links do come out for Shabala, everyone going, oh, but he's got an injury problem. There'll be nothing. If Spurs go for him, this fan base or sections of this fan base, because I don't want to label everyone the same, will go on and go, oh, yeah, Shabala. Oh, he played for Chelsea. He's won stuff. He can't get into the Chelsea team. He can't play. The only thing Shabala has is homegrown. That's it. That's all this guy has. I mean, we're there. And once again, we know we need a defender. Strikers, apparently, when I was doing a Tottenham Hotspur update with Simeon yesterday, we're not looking at strikers or attackers, apart from Jota.
Interesting, because that goes hand in hand with the reports on Richarlison saying he's happy to move away. He doesn't feel in connection to the club. Not surprised the way we've all been treating him, to be honest. Why would he feel connected? I don't think he's a fit as well, personally. But if he's willing to go in January, surely that's a perfect time to buy a new striker in, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You look at it as well. Our weakness of our defence became our strength, and then that got absolutely depleted. When you have games where, for example, easy one, Aston Villa, 18 attempts, 8 on target, 1 goal. 1 goal against Wolves when we should have been beating them before it happened. They deserved the win. There's nothing about that. If you're having XYZ, we've seen how many attempts we're creating under Ange, and you're scoring 1, you've got a striking problem. Listen, we're creating, we can't put it away. We cannot put the ball away. So it's like, wait a minute, We need someone to help Son. We need someone that's ruthless. But now, according to it, the forward line is not somewhere we're looking. Make
Yeah,
sense, Scooter.
it's great. I think that our last game, I've said at the time, I can think of very few times I felt so frustrated by a scoreline, because the general play we made, it was great. Some of the football was sensational at times, all the way through the match. Ran out of steam towards the end, but nobody could hit a barn door, could they? It's like it's now become. We used to be the one-man team with Harry Kane scoring the goals, and now it's all on Sonny now. Because and if he's not hitting the target, or he's marked out of it, or straying offside, Villa are exceptional at catching players offside. To be fair, but still 3 was it that were ruled out for offside for Sonny?
Yeah, and they were all great finishes.
Yeah. So unless it's dropping for Sonny in the right place at the right time, we don't look like we're scoring many all of a sudden. And that wasn't the case earlier in the season. We were getting goals from all over the place. The thing is, those goals from all over the place, they're players that are now missing, injured, suspended. Even Romero was chipping in with goals, wasn't he? Van der Ven scored a winner at Luton. So those players that we were chipping in with aren't there. What's left? It's Kulusevski. I think he looked a lot better in the middle, but again, when it comes to finishing, that wasn't a confident finish where he hit the post. He was whacking it when most players would have rolled it in, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it was harder. But you know what? Let's move it away from. We're going to still talk transfers. This name isn't going anywhere. So obviously he's available. Obviously he's a great striker. We're pulling out deals apparently left, right, and centre. I don't see this happening in a million years. I don't think we'll pay the money. B, I think he's going to Chelsea or Arsenal. And I just can't see it. Can you, Coover? Would I want him? Yes. Can I see it? No.
I think he will be elevated into a price range that we're not going to be dabbling in. I really do. I think he's going to be coming closer to 100 million than he is to 50. So that's us out. Arsenal, Chelsea, they're prepared to spend big. So, this seems the likely way.
Kim's right. Good morning, Kim, darling. I hope you and Rez are good and well. Listen, this is football manager stuff. Would Ivan Toney score goals in this Tottenham team? Absolutely. Could he be that focal point and offer the aerial ability that Son doesn't give us? He can score the occasional header, but Ivan Toney is night and day. And I just cannot see us paying that amount. Listen, we balked at paying whatever it was for Gift Orban. Again, when I say this, literally, we know Ivan Toney can do it in the Premier League. We know he can do it in the Premier League. There's no doubt about his class. I can't see us paying the fee. I can't see us paying the wages that the other teams would offer. And good morning, Craig, my brother. And he's bang on. He's bang on again. Imagine if we had the best striker in the world, sold him, and didn't replace him. How are people accepting this? I just don't understand it.
I think it's almost like mini scale propaganda, isn't it, from the club? It's bigging up the minor things that happen. Look how great it's going off field. All these things are in place. We've sold Kane, but here's a picture of Sonny. Gotta love Sonny, yeah. You deflect, look away from where the problem is, and start looking at other things, and then the usual smoke screens. We're talking about it already this morning. As soon as a transfer window comes up, we're pulling out of a deal we thought is going to be nailed on.
Yep.
All of a sudden, oh no, there's an injury problem, or we suddenly cooled our interest on someone because of wage demands, or somebody's asking £5 million more than the 20 million we were about to pay. It's just excuse after excuse. Other clubs go out and get things done. We dither, we hold on. I mean, For me, I was really optimistic this season because of what we did in the summer. Was it all the players we needed to bring in? No, but I had a realistic outlook at the time, thinking we can't get all the players we need in one window. It would have been impossible. You'd have to go on a massive sort of Man City or Chelsea type splurge to do it. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But the signings we made were good. And I thought, this is the way forward. We just keep doing this. In January, go out and get somebody that fits exactly what we need. For me, Lloyd Kelly does do that job. And he's in a price range I think this club should be able to afford quite easily. Now, the question is, do we believe that it's the injury problems that is putting us off? Or do we believe that, no, he's a little bit more, we can get a cheaper player here. We'll keep playing the game of looking for people with contracts about to expire. And you're talking Football Manager, aren't you? Looking for bargains on that database. And it seems like what we're doing. Are we going to look for stopgaps in the meantime? Talk of Tanganga shows you yes. I'm worried. I really am worried at the moment. I'm not going to quite go into Levy as much as usual at this point. I'll leave that to you, Brian. But I think you know where you're coming from. I think most people do. I
take that responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. I don't have the power. I wish I did. But I will take on the responsibility. And before I bring on our third amigo, Mark, right now, good morning to you, sir. Right now it is -1. The high is going to be 7, and the low today is going to be -2. So it's going to get better. But
shorts and t-shirt weather for me, mate.
Oh, mate, it's starting to get there. But I'm going to bring Ben in. I'm just to mention one thing. Good morning, sir. Good morning. I'm going to say one thing, then I'm going to let you catch up with what you think about Lloyd Kelly, and to actually talk about Lloyd Kelly and Tanganga. I've told you about it. You've seen what I've tweeted. What are you making of pulling out of injury-prone Lloyd Kelly rather than he's costing money that we don't want to spend, and bringing back Tanganga?
It's a disaster, isn't it? It's a disaster. I've spoken with Cooves about Lloyd Kelly a few times, and it seems like a backup signing that would sort of work. It'd allow cover in that sort of area. Yeah, we might. But has he got an injury problem because he's got an injury problem, or is it because of the Bournemouth medical team? Because look at our history of injuries. We've bought players that have never had injuries before, but the moment they get to Tottenham, they start getting injuries upon injuries. We don't look after players properly. It was quite clear that Bentancur at the weekend was really badly hurt. It was really badly hurt. So what do Tottenham do? They make him play for another 5 minutes, knowing that he's probably torn something, and then they make him walk off the pitch. That's why we've got injury problems, because we do not have a Scooby how to run the medical team. I've been saying it for ages. Sack the medical team. They are not good enough. How many long-term injuries do we have? Loads of them. We've always got at least 3 of them. They don't just keep Ryan Sessegnon on the fitness table because he's a nice guy. He's injured because they don't know how to treat him properly. They haven't fixed his issue. And it's time we got rid of them. They've had plenty of time here. They've had plenty of time here to go and do it properly. They've got all the facilities they need. They've got the best doctors they need. Yet we've still got loads of injuries. With the money we've invested in that area, we should have no injuries or very few injuries.
That's the best comment. That's the best. Yeah. That's the best comment. But you know what? Just to bring up a couple of chats here. But first of all, super chat from Adrian. So thank you very much. You are not the only one wondering about the Kane money. And I'm going to speak to 2 comments right now. It could be all bullshit, Mo. It could all be bullshit, like I said during this conversation. But the one thing I know is I have a PhD, my master's, a bachelor's, whatever you want to say, in Levy bullshit, in LevyNomics, in watching what goes on. Last window was the only window that I will say was a roaring success. A roaring success.
And I still don't think it was that good a window. It was a success.
Still left things out, but by our standards, listen, I can't remember a time where we've gone. It's Vicario, is Adoji, even though it's season before, but obviously it's coming to effect this season. Is it Van der Ven? Is it Madison? Johnson? Not Johnson. Johnson's been, I will think, will be a good signing, but it's just like you've got to think that's a good window. And I know what's going to happen here. I've seen it before. I'd love nothing more than to come on here and every other channel and go, wow, that was amazing. I got that so wrong. I got that so wrong. Hemorrhoid, thank you, brother. I've got my coffee here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
But I want to talk to this one. So what I'm about to say, do not take it. I do not mean you at all. What I'm about to say. Jimenez, agree. Jordan Sancho, or Jadon Sancho, shall I say. I don't get it. We sell Harry Kane to Bayern Munich, who, by the way, on Saturday or Friday broke a record where in November he has already scored the most Bundesliga's goals in a season as an Englishman, and it's only November, and he's got 18 in 12 games. It's a farmers league. It's a farmers league. It's a farmers league. But we want Jadon Sancho. And the only reason we want Jadon Sancho is because he played very, very well in said Farmers League.
Yeah.
So he played very well in the Farmers League, has gone to United, has disciplinary issues, had it at Dortmund. But it's okay, he's at United, let's get him, he's available, or could get him cheaper. But the only time he has done very, very well is when he's playing in the Farmers League that we sent Harry Kane to, apparently. It can't be worked both ways, can it, guys?
We've got to face it. The Premier League is also a farmers' league. Because who's going to win the league this year? Manchester City. Who's going to win the league next season? Manchester City. Who's going to win it 3 years from now? Manchester City. Who won it last year? Manchester City. Who won it the year before that? Manchester City. I think it was Manchester City. They're 2 years in a row. We are a farmers' league. So we need to stop saying that the German league is a farmers' league, because frankly, our best player at the moment, the player we're missing all dearly, came from a farmers' league in Mickey van der Ven.
Yep.
Like it's English football fans thinking, oh, we've got the best. It's not. There are some great players. Remember in the 90s when Italy thought we were a farmers' league, and they, like, every time you played an Italian team, they battered us. It's poor. It means people that call the Bundesliga a farmers' league are people that don't watch the Bundesliga. People that call La Liga a farmers' league are people that don't watch La Liga. They're just saying it's because they haven't got the time and they're too lazy to formulate an argument. The Bundesliga is not a farmers' league. It's just that Bayern Munich are. Well, it would, if it was. The reason it's not higher than the Premier League is they've got a good ownership model of 50+1. 51% of the club is owned by the fans. If it was like the Premier League, I think it would be far better. The youth they've gathered, the money they've brought in, the style of football, the camaraderie of the fans of having, was it £60 a ticket there for a season ticket in some cases?
So very, very reasonable anyway, whatever it may be.
Very reasonable prices. If anyone that calls any of it a Bundesliga a farmers' league, they're just stupid, in my opinion. They're stupid. It's not a farmers' league.
What have you got to say, Kuva?
No, that sums it up for me. I'd even argue at the moment, I'd say Serie A is probably weaker than the Bundesliga. These aren't the great Italian sides from yesteryear. I remember when Serie A used to be the powerhouse of European football. All the big stars would go there. You know, Gascoigne going over there. You'd see Hullet, Van Basten. You know, great players would they'd all make their way over to Italy. That's stopped. Those years are over. They still got some good players, of course they have, and it's not Mickey Mouse League by any means, but it's not what it used to be. That's for sure. Yeah. You look at what's happening in this country, and as Ben said, what's happening now. We know it's going to be the same teams going for the title every year. And it's also the way Man City are going. also includes the domestic trophies, the domestic cups as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at the League Cup. We went out of that, and such a big deal made about it. Like, oh, because it's a cup we could have won. Why could we have won it? Because you look at the last 10 winners of it, it's all those big teams that we say win everything. Man City alone, they probably won what, 4 of the last 10?
Yeah, they deliberately win it. They deliberately say, if we win this, it gives us a stepping stone to the rest of the season.
It's what Jose Mourinho did. It's what Jose Mourinho did. You know, I'm going to bring another comment up. Big support of the channel and big love to you, Jimmy. Urinic out for their poor investment. Blaming them for everything is a reach, for fuck's sake. Right. So I'll go into why I am. It all started when Martinelli was sacked at halftime. That was Levy's decision. That's what Levy did. I'll just give a few of the points on. If I gave it all, this would be a 3.5-hour stream. Not signing a player for a whole season or 3 windows. First team ever to do it. Levy. Promising that the transfer funds for the stadium are over there and the stadium and the transfer fees are there. Didn't happen. Saying they have the stadium ready in 2 years. Oh, sorry, 1 year, when we all knew it wasn't. Then making it 2 years, cancelling the tickets for Liverpool, and then charging more to watch it at Wembley and apologising to the NFL first for hiring 2 managers in Conte and Mourinho that we both knew were checkbook win-now managers and not doing it. For hiring people like Nuno when he failed to get people over the line. For transfers falling through, for players wanting to leave constantly to further their career because the team that we had, and some of them were glittered with stars, all geared 1 or 2 transfers away. 1 or 2, well done, Rez, cheers, brother. 1 or 2 transfers away from success. Rather than doing that, strips the team. Literally, directors of football have left because they weren't listened to. The Super League still hasn't apologised. Only one that hasn't out of the 6 chairmen. Also, the only English chairman out of all of them that knows exactly what English football means, exactly what the pyramid system means, exactly what it means to the lower leagues, doesn't do it. Lies consistently, doesn't communicate with the fans. It's incredible how when it comes to 50% off for this or do that, always got time for that. Let's build properties. Let's do this. I could go on and on, Jimmy. I don't blame him for everything. Listen, I have a famous saying, or I say famous within myself and people that know me, and I always say it. When those players cross the white line and get on that pitch, the performance and the result has absolutely nothing to do with Daniel Levy. However, the very fact that they can put on that white shirt, cross that line, and put in that performance has everything to do with him, i.e. Eric Dyers of this world, players that are not good enough that the fans can see. The manager, when it's tried with 4 or 5 managers with a player and it hasn't worked, you get rid of them. There's players at Manchester United, Arsenal, big clubs. You have a chance to do it. And if you cannot succeed at your job, you're deemed surplus to requirements. You are told to find another club. You are sold, and they bring in a replacement.
Yeah.
Not Tottenham Hotspur. And like I said, this isn't aimed at. This isn't a shot at you. This is because I totally respect you and love your interaction with us on this channel. There's just so much more. Do I blame him for all the injuries? No, I don't.
I do.
Well, no, we should have it.
Because he employs a medical team, and he's seen that for the last 5 years we've had massive medical issues. So you look at the medical team and you get someone to look at their performance, and then you can assess: is it an impact? If it's like leg breakers every game, you can say, okay, medical team not at fault. That's bad luck. Someone's gone in for a bad tackle and it's broken someone's leg. When it comes to niggling long-term injuries, like long-term muscle injuries, recovery injuries, players that should have been back in 1 month but took 5 months to be back, like the Ryan Sessegnons of the world, that is totally down to the medical team and therefore totally down to him for not employing someone to oversee that and make sure it's working properly. That's totally down to him, because that is an important part of playing football, is having football players. And if they can't be kept fit by the medical team, it's down to him because he pays them.
Yep, and I'm going to add that, Kura, I want you to answer this one. Jimmy's responding. He's got a fair point. He's got everything. I get all that, but I'd also see change under Ange, which we all do. Don't get us wrong. There is total change. Now, what we want is the change that he's implemented to be rewarded with, like, I can see difference here. I have gone this way. This is what I want to do. I can see it all. Like I said, the new recruitment team, we can reflect on that. Well done for not buying merch since Joel was sacked. But I see check. You're correct. Coover is correct. We do see change under Ange, but we've seen change under Poch. We saw change under Mourinho. We were top at Christmas when we're going into January. Well, what do you say to that, Coover?
I think the only way going to see people consistently off Levy's back about what's happened in the last 20 years is if he consistently shows that he's changed those ways. So we saw a very promising summer, but if we see a really disappointing January and then nothing much happening in the summer again, it meant nothing. It meant it was just a blip in an ongoing theme. So we've got to see this consistency. We've got to see this bravery, if you like, in going for this new direction for him, because he's been going for established, winning machine type manager, the instant success. We're now going for somebody that's come from less fashionable leagues, let's be fair, and due respect to Celtic. I mean, it is a lower level league than the Premier League. There's no questioning that. I think even Celtic fans would say that as well. So we've gone with this manager who needs to prove himself in this league. We need to stick with him. We need to back him in a way that we're going to be signing players that actually fit what he wants, rather than just going for our usual of going for club signings that fit any manager that comes in. And then we end up with this mishmash of players that don't fit together. If we can do that, then people will get off his back. But we've got to see it. We can't just say, oh, that's definitely happening in the future now. We don't know for sure. All we've got is that track record of what we've seen before, and it's not pretty viewing.
Before you jump in, Brian, it's just like the reason I'm really cool about this at the moment. I'm not happy that we've lost 3 games in a row, because no one should be happy or say, "Oh, we've won 3 games in a row. It's not a problem." Blah blah blah. It's not. I predicted this, and I'm not the sort of person that likes to say, "Ha, I told you so." That's totally not me at all. But in August, when I was given the nickname Eeyore, I said this was going to happen. We will get to November, December, fixtures start piling up, and we will get 5-6 injuries. And we've got the African Cup of Nations in January. We've got the Asia Cup for Sonny to go after the Asia Cup. We will struggle. And I was said, no, you're being negative. Oh, you're being Eeyore. You don't know what you're saying. You can't always predict this. We're here. I'm not going to give you the "I told you so" because it's not fair. But I want people to dream. Dreaming is part of football. But I saw this coming so far in advance. That's why I'm chill.
I don't know. I have to say,
we've talked about this.
Before I go back to what we're talking about, I have to say, big up Graham, but it shows how tired I must be, because I read that before I brought it up as "Morning lads from foggy California." Could there be 2 more different places? But no, something Jimmy says as well. We're playing better. We're looking better. And just that I think it says cooking or words to that effect. But the thing, he's right. You are absolutely right, Jimmy. 1 billion%. And there lies the problem. You will not find a lot of Levy out people going, "Oh no, Ange's fucking Ange." We all back Ange. We love Ange. We absolutely love Ange.
And that's why we're so
do I have 100% faith in Ange Postecoglou? No. I have 1,000,000% trust and faith and confidence in Ange Postecoglou. Do I have 1% trust and belief in Daniel Levy? Negative 1,000,000. This is the thing. We've had the managers, we've had the stars of play. We have had the Ange Postecoglou, Harry Redknapp, Pochettino. Did I say Martin Yole? Yeah. Let's add him. I love him so much. We named him twice. We've had those managers. We've had the win now managers, the Contes, the Mourinhos. We've gone for the stupid ones. In Nuno, every single manager has not been right. There's been something that listen, Pochettino was right. In the end, he was backed somewhat, but when we should have really invested, when we were right there, we went 18 months without signing anyone.
Yeah.
With Mourinho, any of those players that we signed, does Mourinho sign them at any other club, or does he get the upgrades of those type of players that are ready to go in and do stuff? Conte, did he get what he wanted? We could go through Skriniar, Rodham, and other comparisons of defenders we wanted. I'll give you the perfect one. I know this for an absolute fact. The very first player that Pochettino wanted at Tottenham Hotspur once he joined was Morgan Schneiderlin from Southampton.
Yeah.
First thing he said, I want this guy. Whether he did well at Man U or whatever, doesn't matter. He did fucking amazing at Southampton under who? Mauricio Pochettino. He said, get me this guy. Who did we get for him? Benjamin Stambouli. He wanted a I can't remember the guy's name. He played for Villarreal. Is Villarreal the yellow team in Spain? It is, isn't it? They're all yellow. There was an Argentinian defender. Incredible. No. That's who we got instead. There was. It sounds like Mascherano, but it wasn't. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I can't remember what his name was. Get me him. Get me him. Get me him. That's what I want. Okay, you want an Argentinian defender? Let me go buy you Fazio. This is what's happened. Like I said, Jimmy, I love Ange. I want Ange to stay. I want him to be our longest service manager. I want him to do as well as anyone. It's whether once again he's allowed to, isn't it, Cougar?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, everything you're saying there, I agree with that. There's like a history of misguided leadership of the club, if you like. I'd say it goes back even further. It's not Yol was the part where I became aggressively opposed to Levy being our chairman. That was disgusting. But you go back further than that. We basically Levy got rid of George Graham after he'd won us a cup. Okay, George Graham's not a popular figure, being an ex-Gooner and everything, but he did turn us back into a cup side, and we did win something. So he got rid of him, and the vision was bring in Glenn Hoddle, club legends. We're going back to going very public, saying we need to go back to the Spurs way. This was the idea of bringing Glenn Hoddle back. Then Glenn Hoddle has perfectly lined up. As far as we're told, the deals are done and dusted for Samuel Eto'o and Fernando Morientes at the time. Awesome players, absolutely fantastic players. Deals fell through. We ended up with, Bobby Zamora and Helder Postiga and whoever. Anyway, okay, so you can get a mock up a transfer window. I'm okay with that as long as it doesn't keep happening. But then what we did was sack Glenn Hoddle and bring in Jack Santini. And this is after Levy has said it's important we get back to playing the Spurs way. Jack Santini is the polar opposite of that. So then I knew our chairman is full of shit. He just says whatever the fans would like to hear, but what he actually does is irrelevant. They're totally different. He's going to do his own thing. He doesn't understand what he's doing. Or if he does, he's just a complete liar and a fraud. So I was opposed to him at that point. When the sacking of Yol happened, after he brought back football to the club, I was just so appalled by that. I felt hostile towards the chairman. Never felt that way about a chairman at a club before. I don't really see it happen a lot of times. But it's become popular nowadays to blame the board for things. Like to think we're kind of pioneers of that. We did it with Sugar as well, didn't we? Forced him out basically as fans. So we're always leading the way, and it's for bad reasons in a lot of things recently. We used to be pioneers for the good stuff, not nowadays. It's how to really mess up something good. That's what we seem to be.
Exactly.
We keep on saying we've got to bring back the Spurs way. I don't even know what the Spurs way is because we haven't played a consistent brand of football my entire footballing life. I know I'm only 28 years old. I've not supported as long as other people have. But when your first born, George Graham's the manager, defensive manager. Then you bring in Glenn Hoddle, attacking manager. Then you bring in Jacques Santini, the man that invented Park the Bus football. Then you bring in Martin Jol, attacking. Then Ramos, defensive. Then Redknapp, attacking. Then AVB, defensive. Then Pochettino, attacking. And it's that we go and attack, defense, attack, defense, attack. And this is why the recruitment system doesn't work, because we never stick with a style of manager. No. We never stick. We always completely go the opposite direction. We've had Pochettino, an attacking Argentinian style manager. When you get rid of him, you bring he wasn't available at the time. You bring in another one, like let's say Gallardo. He's now gone to Saudi. You bring in that style of manager, or a Marco Silva, someone that would continue that style of higher pressing, attacking football to the club. What do? We go to Jose Mourinho, that plays 10 men behind the ball and hoof it to Harry Kane the entire game, when we've got no players that suit that system. And then we go to Conte, that does a similar thing, and say, I need defenders because you've given me players that play more of an attacking style of football, more progressive on the ball, like Sanchez's and the Tongans and Alderweireld. I need a Bastoni that can play Italian style, 3 at the back, 2 men in front of them, wing backs go high.
Okay, Ben, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to end up with one comment that Jimmy's just put in, and I'm just going to squash this right now. Santini was gas crack, but he gave us Martin Jol. So, Martin Jol, in his own words, in an interview with We Are Tottenham TV, and he's mentioned it many, many a time, when he came over to Tottenham Hotspur, he was told by Daniel Levy, as he got on the plane from Holland, you're going to be the manager of Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
When he got to Tottenham Hotspur, he was told, no, you're going to be the assistant manager, and it's this guy here, Santini. He said, okay, fine, no problem whatsoever. Santini left within 6 weeks. Martin Jol was promoted. Look how he treated Martin Jol. People want to give Levy credit for bringing him in. Let's not forget how Levy got him out, which for many people is the reason that they are Levy out. But listen, on that note, we're going to start wrapping it up. Kuva, thank you for joining me, brother. The 100.
Can we bring up one? Oh, you got a super chat as well coming in. But
on Matt.
Also, there's one other comment I think
Thanks,
we're bringing up. Benjamin Foster is one of the recent comments.
Which time? Let's have a look.
10:12.
Oh, look at that. Go. It's like Ben's got access to the...
Perfect. Yeah, I remember that as well.
Yeah. And Conte.
Yeah, these things never quite happen, do they?
Yeah. And Conte. Conte has still got... We've still got that 50. We've still got that 50.
Also, when we... to add to things as well, I was just doing a little tot-up on players we've got out on loan and players that never play for us that are in the squad still, and how much we're paying for them. You add all the wages together, it's about 33 million pound a year. People like people like Forster, reserve goalkeeper. When does he ever play? He's
and don't forget, we've got Lloris,
80 grand a week. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Eric Dyer, he's on what, 100 grand a week? It's getting on for that. It might be a little bit less, but these are massive wages on players that aren't good enough. And we keep maintaining it.
Kuva, do you know how much we pay? Let's see if people can get it. I've said this before. Cameron Carter-Vickers never ever played a single minute for Spurs in the Premier League. Do you know how much we spent on wages on him before we sold him to Celtic?
It's too much.
Yeah.
So remember his age. Never ever played a Premier League minute for Tottenham Hotspur. He earned £7 million. £7 million. Not one single minute as a Tottenham Hotspur player. I'll take that. I'll take that. But on that note, Kuva, where can people find you?
Hopefully, if Bobby K's fit and healthy on Friday night, where we'll be doing Kuva and the Kang. Move to Fridays from the Saturdays. just going to be me and Bobby this week. So we're going to be doing a few little games, but playing with the people in chat. So if that's your kind of thing, playing very, very stupid games that aren't really football related, and you just want a bit of a laugh, wind down from the week, that's where you'll find me. Because bar this show where, you know, if you're invited in by someone like Brian Daigle, you come onto the show, even if it's serious.
Damn right.
Otherwise, just look for Ben's coffee shop. I'll be over there. You know, Wednesdays doing silly stuff there. I'll just love the light-hearted streams at the end of the day. I'll make it
light-hearted or Levy bashing.
Damn right. It's one of those.
It's the season to bash Levy. La 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 la.
For me, end of January, that's when Levy bashing starts. If nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening since I've put that E17 coat on. I've just gone Bride the musical. It's got secret powers. Ben, I can see that the PR department of Tottenham on Tour are doing well. Big up, Matt. I hope you're good. Ben, what can people expect to see on the Coffee House?
Today, I am doing a show with Mia from Spurs Between the Lines. We're going to call it the Tigger and Eeyore show. We're just going to have a fun show, talk Disney movies and all that fun stuff, because that's stuff that Mia and I quite like. So get over there at 2 p.m. We've got some usual shows every day, chill mental health streams. We have good chats, good times, and it's just somewhere nice to be, especially over this period where people need to be with each other. So get over to the coffee company. We've got a brand new Christmas coffee out, which is really tasty. And we've got some new surprising things, like a new product that's just been released yesterday. So it's not totally been announced yet, but we'll whip it. We've got the new Sip Drinks hot apple bottle. So if you want to try that,
I'm back here.
Yeah, that is absolutely delicious. So if you want to try that, limited edition for Christmas, they brought that in yesterday. So yeah, we got some wonderful things over the Christmas period.
Okay, Ben, give one of those to Ryan to bring over to Canada for me. Right, we'll be back tomorrow with Cockerel Doodle, but a couple of housekeeping bits and news from Tottenham on Tour tomorrow and for the rest of December. Expect very, very festive things from Tottenham on Tour. Tomorrow launches the first day of the much waited for and anticipated Advent calendar. And we start with a bang as our guest with Simeon from We Are Tottenham TV.
Yeah.
Please make sure that will be going out at 11 o'clock every single day during the Advent calendar time. And not going to go into a lot of detail, but there will be a brand new weekly show coming in January. Not going to say a day, not going to say the time, not going to say who the hosts are, not going to say what it's about. But see, just to say, Tottenham on Tour have made signings before January, and we're already letting you know. This isn't sources, guaranteed facts, new show, new content coming your way in January. That's how you roll. That's how you get deals done. I hope everyone will enjoy it. We will see you all tomorrow.
You don't have injury concerns at the last moment.
No, I mean, with the show, the people that are running this show, injuries are not a concern.
Yeah.
Injuries are not a concern. They'll run through brick walls. Even if they were injured, they'd still get the job done. Ben,
say top shelf comedy.
You could say top shelf. You could say top shelf. I like that. Okay. So drip, drip, drip. Ben, how do you sign off?
You want a catchphrase, Kuva?
No, you go. I don't do catchphrases.
All right.
Everything I say is a catchphrase. I'm Cooper, innit?
Yeah, damn right. And as usual, the cough's catchphrase. If you smell what the cough is brewing, take it away, Aki.
And as always, Levy out. Tottenham